I'll run it here. Welcome back to Stories for the Grandkids. This one's going to look a little bit different. Mo is no longer with us. I'm going to dive into that on a solo podcast that we'll have coming up. I'll tell you a little bit more tea there, but I'm so excited to have Lindsay here today. Yay! And we are going to dig into the fact that she is probably one of the most versatile content creators that I know. You have 2 YouTube channels,
2 different YouTube
2
channels,
Instagrams,
2 different Instagrams,
a TikTok.
Yeah.
Am I missing anything?
I have 2 TikToks, but one is just like, it's like the meme comedy. Okay. And it's not growing that much, but yes, still, 2 of everything for 2 different niches.
But not growing that much. I looked at it. It's still like 50,000 on YouTube, right? For the comedy one and like hundreds of thousands on. So like conglomeratively, you have a huge following between a bunch of different platforms. And that's super unique. Because like we were saying before, there's people who have like one or the other. One
is like more dominant than the other, yeah.
But before we dig into the socials, I'd love to know a little bit more about just... Because you're also an actor, right? And you went to acting school. Was it George Brown? I did my research. I did my research.
I love that.
I did my research.
Because you didn't ask me for my bio or anything. You're just like, I know it.
You ever heard of IMDb?
IMDb, yes.
DB, sorry.
DB.
Dyslexia.
Yes, that's fair. So I originally started acting. I graduated from George Brown, their acting for media program. That was like, I just got a notification on Facebook that was 7 years ago. And I'm like, crazy. That's insane. 7 years ago? That's really spooky. From there, I was doing like just random jobs. I was living at home with my parents, and I was really, the first year after graduating, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like I felt like stuck.
Which is so, I feel like that's like a common experience,
I feel like it's really
right?
common.
Is finishing school and then being like, now what?
Now what?
You've been in school for like, 14, 15, 16 years between elementary, post-secondary.
Yeah, right?
Like,
I didn't even think of that.
Real world, have fun.
Yeah.
So how'd you deal with that?
Yeah,
what did you do?
Literally nothing. There was like 6 months I was just not working. Like I was just not.
Unemployed?
Yeah, literally. And I was doing like, I was a camp counselor in the summer for 3 summers.
Okay, tell us more. What camp? Like you want to?
It was a sports camp.
You want to give them a plug? Okay.
Yeah, so it was like
cool.
Sports and activities, and I'm really athletic. My family's really athletic. My brothers did that. I have 2 older brothers. Fun fact.
Are you the youngest?
I am the youngest.
Okay, so you're baby sister.
I am baby sister.
Baby sister.
But also, both my brothers have very like traditional jobs. Like my dad was a teacher, and then he's retired now. But my oldest brother, he's a teacher.
Interesting.
Yes. And then my other brother, he works with individuals with developmental disabilities. So it's like very traditional. I'm the only one that was like art, acting, you know?
I feel like that's younger sibling core.
It is.
You're like, I've seen what you've all done stably. That's not for me. I'm going to go do something crazy.
Yeah. Like even when I was graduating high school, I took an extra year because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had so many different passions, and this kind of ties into what I'm doing now, but I really loved like psychology, forensic psychology, criminology. Yeah. So I really liked that, but then I really liked acting, but I didn't think that acting could actually be a job. Like it just seemed so out there, and I had no clue how to even get into the industry.
It's so gatekeepy of the acting industry too. Like you kind of have to have help to get into it from what I've heard, because if you just look at it from the outside, you're like, where do I start?
It's so it's so intimidating. So that's why I went to school to like learn everything. And then I was doing those like weird jobs. Like I was teaching kids gymnastics and soccer and just random stuff. And then I started just auditioning for stuff. I got like little gigs here and there. When I finally became serious, I got an agent, and she really helped. And then YouTube. I actually worked for a YouTube channel for a couple of years, kind of grew my following. And then I was like, see ya. And I started my own channels.
So what came first? Was it acting gigs first, or was it social media? And like, also, I guess, how did you parlay them into each other? Because I feel like they almost go hand in hand.
They do, because you really need to be comfortable on camera for acting and for social media. So I feel like with my acting background, I already had that sense of comfortability in front of the camera. So I was already like one step ahead of people. And even I get it now when people are like, you're so comfortable whenever the camera's on you. And I'm like, yeah, because I went to school for it. Yeah. Like 2 years in front of the camera every single day. Like now I don't care what I look like. I still have the thing where I'm like, ooh, look at that. Like when I'm like making fun of my double chin.
But people love that, right? And it's the authenticity and the vulnerability that people really identify with.
That's what I realized.
The curated, I strongly believe the curated era of social media is dying, where it's like every picture's perfect and every video is like perfect and stuff. People want to see real. Where like your double chin video, I was cackling about that.
I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hilarious. But then it leads to opportunities,
Yeah.
like working with people that are like, come get a facial. We'll talk about
let
your-
us fix your double chin.
I was like, that's awful, guys. It's so bad.
I love that. But can we dig into, obviously,
Yeah.
done some acting gigs. I'd love
Yes.
to know first, what acting gigs have you done? Because I know there's been some TV shows, some movies, anything.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a bunch, but anything that you would like to highlight as like, this was a crazy, exciting role?
I think this was one of the very first things that I booked. Well, actually, it was the first with my agent. And it was a Nike soccer commercial.
Oh, okay.
And it was for Christine Sinclair. I did not meet her, but we all had her jersey on. And I remember I auditioned in my backyard because I played rep soccer for 4 years. And I auditioned in my backyard and we literally were doing like, I just had to do keep ups. And so I was like doing keep ups with the ball. And then I had a callback
Yeah.
and booked that. And I was like, that's insane. Like
That's so
Nike,
cool.
it was really
Was that
cool.
one of the first ones too?
That was,
Nike?
yeah, that was the first.
That was literally number one.
Yeah, and they treated me so well on set. Like
That's
it was
amazing.
kind of cold and I'm in shorts and a t-shirt,
Mm-hmm.
and they'd be like, "Talent is cold. Bring a jacket. Bring a blanket." Or they'd be
Yeah.
like, "They're like, are you okay? Do you need anything?" I'm like, "A water's cool." And then all I hear is them like running and hustling, being like, "Talent needs water. Needs water." I'm like, "Guys, it's not that serious. I'm not gonna die. I just wanted a little sip." But they really look after you on set.
That's really cool.
So that was the first, which was so exciting, and that was a union project. Which
That's got to
I
be
was
inspiring too, to
non-union.
keep doing more, right? Like to
Yes.
have one good gig out of the gate.
I
You're like, oh, I
know.
can do this.
Well, then a couple months later, I booked a Netflix show. And
Oh,
again, I was
okay.
still non-union. I didn't take
Yeah.
my credits. And so I booked Grand Army and I was in 2 episodes. It was more so special skills because I know
Okay.
sign language. So random. But I know sign
But
language.
super niche at the same
so
time. A niche
super
talent. Niche talents are highly underrated.
Exactly. I was like, I got my soccer, I got my sign language. And so my role, all my lines were in sign, but I was 2 days on set. I had a trailer. Like it was so fun. And again, that was like only a couple of months after getting my agent. And I was like, this is great.
Which is insane.
That
Because that's like some people, from at least what I've heard, struggle to get off the ground and get their first gig. So I feel like to have a couple of those things right away, like obviously you're very talented, like that goes a long way. But it probably helps push you into more stuff quickly as well.
I was
right?
like,
having a bit of a resume.
I can do this. And my parents also, they saw it and they're like, dang.
Yeah. And acting's
Right?
tough too. Like I took an acting class last year and I was like, whoa, I don't know if this is for me. They're like, get deep into character. I was like, I don't know how to be anything except for my physical form right now.
No, exactly.
So I have a lot of respect for actors who
It's
can like get deep into
intense.
character. It's so intense.
Yes. No, it's crazy. That's why I kind of like doing more comedy roles because I'm just playing myself like a little heightened and sillier. So that's what I really like. I really want to be on a sitcom. So somebody cast me right now if you're watching this.
If you're watching this
Cast.
and you have a sitcom, her
Lindsay.
right here, cast her immediately.
Adam Sandler.
Immediately.
Adam Sandler, please.
Also with
Cast me in your
comedy,
movie.
this is one that we have to dig into because I'm so fascinated.
Okay.
You do comedy.
Yes.
And you also do horror. And
Yes.
those are like polarizingly
opposites.
different.
Yes.
What did you start with?
I started with horror. Well,
Okay.
actually, I started with comedy and it transitioned to horror. So I'll explain it. Here, now we're diving
Yeah.
deep. So I started like the very first video that I ever posted on my YouTube channel
Yeah.
was a clothing haul. Clothing haul
Interesting.
parody. I was
Parody.
making fun of like the beauty gurus
Oh,
at that time.
I love that.
But the thing is I really wanted to be both.
Yeah.
I'm not aesthetic. I can't do,
I know what you mean. I'm not aesthetic. I
right?
totally get it. It's just like it either comes naturally
Or it
doesn't. But a
doesn't.
lot of people have the personality, and that's where you're like, okay, maybe you
Yeah.
could just be entertaining, which
Yeah.
you obviously are.
So thank you. We'll just have the loops of all the compliments going in. You're so talented. You're so funny.
You could just take a compilation
Yes.
after and just put all the compliments
Literally
together. Yeah.
Yes, that. Yeah, so it was like me doing a clothing haul, and I remember I would only wear I still do, where it's like black or gray.
Yeah.
And so I had a bunch of gray shirts, and I remember just being like, I got this shirt and this shirt and this shirt, and it was funny, and so I would do a bunch of those. Also had a weird obsession with Ellen DeGeneres. Really wanted to be on her show.
Okay.
So I had a
Interesting.
blonde. I know it's so
Interesting.
random.
Tell us more. Tell us
Yeah.
more.
So I had a blonde wig that I would wear, and then literally, and I would
I'm picturing you.
yes, the short blonde wig. I would dress like her, and then I would do
Also, kudos to you for the commitment to the bit, the
right?
blonde wig.
I had to. And then I would do it as if I was like interviewing myself. So I would cut back and forth and I would be Ellen. And I had the whole introduction where she would like come on. She used to like throw stuff and catch it in her mouth before she would come on. And then she'd be like, have a seat, thank you. And you know, like Ellen, she would walk over the table and then she'd always like lift herself up and then sit down. I would do all of that. And I did like part 1, part 2, part 3. It was so random. I really thought I was going to get discovered and be on Ellen. I really thought. That was.
You still could.
I still could.
You still could. We're young. We have time.
True.
We have lots of time.
But does Ellen have time? Sorry. I love you, Ellen.
Real.
So I started with that. And then during the pandemic, I started posting scary TikToks.
Interesting. So this was a pandemic thing.
Yes.
Like, are we talking like 2020?
Oh gosh.
Was there
I don't
anything that
know.
provoked the scary stuff? Like, are you a big true crime girly or a
Yes.
big horror movie girly?
I
or like
love like mystery thriller, Shutter
Okay.
Island. I grew up watching Nancy Drew reading the books.
Okay.
So I always loved like mystery. And again, I wanted to go into like criminology. And so, oh gosh, what was it? I started researching like scary controversial facts. And so the series that hit was Dark Things Disney Doesn't Want You to Know, because you take something where it's the happiest place on earth, or
I feel like
so
I probably
it's
saw
quote.
this back in 2020 because I was down a deep wormhole of like the conspiracy theory, scary stuff, whatever TikTok, because that was a moment too.
Oh yeah. And so I started with that. And the third video, part 3, literally hit. And it's like real things that Disney does or like hides, or like real tragedies at the park. More so back in the day, not now.
Yeah, but like the person, what was it? Somebody got decapitated, was it on a ride or something like that?
One of them, the one that went viral was the girl that got crushed in between a revolving like wall.
Yes.
She was an employee.
Yes.
And so that one like literally like hit 1 million so fast.
Yeah.
And then I just kept doing the parts, and each part was hitting like million.
Yeah.
And like overnight, I kid you not, I got 50K followers.
I believe it.
I
believe it. The snowball effect on TikTok of anything is insane. Yeah.
Which now I feel like it's harder.
Yes.
But back then it was like, and again, it's like a pandemic. So everyone is on their phone. Everyone is scrolling.
Yes. You also found a really good pocketed niche. And I feel like that's where like when you find that and you can replicate that and you're passionate about it, you'll see like exponential growth, which obviously you've had because you're almost at 1 million on TikTok.
So close.
Yeah.
I need 5,000
so
more.
close. All
Like,
right.
come
5,000
on.
of you who are watching this.
5,000, man.
If 5,000 of you watch this, all 5,000 of you, please follow Lindsay.
Love it.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's my goal.
Get her to 1 million on TikTok, please.
Hey, I love it. So that was my thing. But then I got stuck in this weird niche that if I posted anything outside of Disney, it wouldn't do well.
So anything outside of Disney, like any other horror, true crime, all that stuff. So people just wanted the spooky Disney girl.
And I don't even do that anymore. So I took a break for, I want to say almost a year. I got overwhelmed.
Okay.
And plus in Canada, you don't make money off of TikTok.
Yes.
So I wasn't getting brand deals. I didn't even know what that was.
Yeah.
But because of that, I was like, I am going to bring those followers over to YouTube so I can actually monetize.
Yes.
And so I started doing long form videos talking more in depth about these cases. So I'd be like, I'd do the TikTok and then at the end I'd be like, and then follow me on YouTube for a more in depth. And that's what I was doing. And I was transferring the views over.
Interesting. Okay.
Smart.
It's very smart. That's very smart.
But I got overwhelmed and I took a break off of TikTok and I just focused on YouTube. I got monetized. And then when I came back, I started doing it more strategically because I didn't want to be locked into that weird niche.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Can we talk about also, I feel like a lot of people don't understand, I'm going to call it the rat race, like the rat race that is social media and how like overwhelming it can be.
Oh my
and
God, it's so
obviously it's good that you took a break when you like needed to, because it can be a lot for somebody, especially when you have so many channels and you're like, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this all the time, that I feel like people just see like a 15-second video and they're like, oh, you didn't even like do anything. And you're like,
no, it's like research, finding the background photos, making sure, because if you get one fact wrong, they are coming for you, especially true crime.
Mob. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I remember I said like 1915 instead of like 1951. I literally dyslexic moment, got the number switched. All the comments were like, she's stupid. She doesn't know. Yeah. Crazy. They'll come for you.
Yeah. They love to come for you on the internet. People love to come for you on the internet. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Now I've realized like I just distance myself.
Yeah.
YouTube is actually really good. I have a community. that like loves me. And
That
if
and that's what I
there's,
wanted to ask a little bit
yeah,
of too is I know a lot of people who have like big TikTok followings or big Instagram followings. I don't know a lot of people with big YouTube followings because you have hundreds of thousands, which is like, but that's big on YouTube.
yeah.
I know a lot of really great creators who just can't get off the ground on YouTube. What's that like, and what's the community like? And do you even want to talk about monetization? Like, do you think
Yeah.
it's worth for people to push to grow a YouTube
Yeah.
channel to like make stable money? Because brand deals are great, but they're flaky. They're here or there. Sometimes they pay lots. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes
Yeah,
you don't
it's
see them
not
for a while. Where
guaranteed.
YouTube brings consistent money, right?
Yes. And I always preach this to everyone. I say, start a YouTube channel, genuinely.
Yeah.
Because even if you're just cross posting your shorts, and I know
Yeah.
people that just have the shorts channel where
Yeah.
they literally, it's basically the reels. And just start there, cross posting everything. And then once you're monetized, it does take a while. But again, if you have a couple shorts that are already good and have hit millions on other platforms,
Yeah.
guaranteed on YouTube it will. But yeah, I actually started YouTube long form. That's
Okay.
so I find a lot of people when they're like stuck, it's because they're so used to making those captivating 60-second videos.
Yes.
And they can't do anything over 10 minutes. And anything over 10 minutes that's when you're getting really good money.
Yeah.
In fact, YouTube is now pushing 20 to 30. So I find
Yes.
that when I do really long videos, they get crazy views.
That's good to know. And I think that's something that's
Yeah.
gate kept a lot with YouTube is
You're
just
welcome.
like where you go, what do you do?
Yeah.
Because I started doing a little bit more YouTube stuff recently, just
Yeah.
before I needed a new passion project or
Yeah.
something. But I don't even know like where to go. What's the right length? Like
Yeah.
what to do, how to, it's a totally different world from
That's the
Instagram and TikTok,
thing.
right? Because Instagram and TikTok is like, you need that hook in the first couple seconds. You need to
Which
keep
I don't
someone's-
do.
You need to, some videos are 7 seconds and you write words on the screen and that's
know.
it. And
And
they
it's
go
just so-
viral and whatever. Where
Yes.
YouTube, there's a lot more curation that goes into it, right?
Yes. Yeah. YouTube, like I have my own filming setup. I feel like for social media, like TikTok, Instagram, I don't care as much.
Yeah.
YouTube is my baby. I put time, effort. Like I hired an editor full time. He's my friend. He's
Yeah.
fantastic. Just because I want to, the more you post on YouTube, obviously the more money you're getting
Yeah.
for views. People don't realize that, and I'm going to spill a little something here.
Listen up.
Yeah. People don't realize that it's not about the subscribers. It's about how many people watch the video and for how long. So my comedy channel, which is almost at 50K,
Yeah.
makes 3 times as much money as my spooky channel, which is
Really?
at 250K.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
it's really about watch time and not about
Yes.
subs. then.
Yeah. And it's just because I guess the comedy resonates more. And I did that channel for myself because I like have a background in comedy. I love sketch, improv, like I do all that. I'm starting to do stand up, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
That's
But
exciting.
yeah.
Also, we'll plug your stand up at the end too.
Love it. Comedy bar. But yeah. So I don't even know what I was saying.
Oh, just the comedy was making you more money than
yes. But also I feel like I can let my true personality shine and
Yeah.
I feel like they see that. And that the watch time is crazy on that versus spooky. I was kind of doing it to satisfy my subscribers because I know that's what they know me for.
Yeah.
But when I started my comedy channel, it got monetized within, I want to say 2 months. Spooky channel.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's fast too.
My spooky channel, it took over a year.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I was pushing out content and not seeing anything. Yeah. I feel like they know when you're like really passionate about it. And that's why when I tell people, if you're starting YouTube, start with what you can maintain.
Yeah.
Now I do both. And sometimes I neglect the spooky channel because
Yeah.
I'm like, I got to focus on what I love.
Yeah.
But I will always be posting something on there. But it's crazy. Yeah, I have to make like twice as much content because I try and
That's
post
what I
a
was going to
comedy
say
video.
too. How do
and
you
a
deal with
scary-
the workload? Because
I
not only
don't.
because you have 2 YouTube channels, 2 Instagrams, a TikTok. Now, TikTok you're posting less frequently. I kind of did my research, so I'm just going to
TikTok,
follow.
yeah. I mean, I kind of post when I feel like it.
Yeah.
It used to be every single day, and
Yeah.
I was really like, I went
That
on
doesn't
vacation.
work anymore on TikTok. TikTok doesn't
No.
care how frequently
No,
you
they
post
don't care anymore.
at all. You can not post for a month and then post a
Yes.
banger and like viral and not post for a
Crazy.
month. Where it
Yeah.
used to be, if you missed a day, the algorithm would nuke you. Like,
Yeah.
see you later. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I remember being so strict on myself that even on vacation, I was having like my friends send me stuff so that I could film. And I was like really on it.
Yeah.
And now it's, yeah, not as much. And I try and pre-film, but then if something comes up, like a new case or something, then I have to like switch gears and hop on that.
Yeah.
And what's nice is I can take my TikTok and then cross post it onto my YouTube and on my spooky Instagram as well. So I just cross post it if I film it once. Comedy, it's more so I try and hop on the trends. I don't love trend hopping. And I find that Instagram is what it is. Yeah. I will see one video and then I will see like 20 videos of the exact same thing.
I find, and I don't know, you can interject if you find differently, but I find TikTok and Instagram, especially in the last like 6 months, like kind of 2025, has been very trend oriented now.
Very
and it's
trend.
not pushing like
original
creative content anymore. It's
I
just
have told
trends.
people that.
And I scroll through and like I'm on Autistic Spoon TikTok right now, which like I love a good spoon.
There's a spoon that I
like
won't use.
Every single spoon.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, I like my spoon, but like what happened to the rest of my TikTok feed? It's just trends.
Know. Yeah. The amount of times also that I have like cleared my Instagram feed to try and start, and they'll still push the same garbage. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't want to see this at all. It's crazy. But the fact that you said it like punishes original content, because I will do, and I'm not to toot my own horn, I will do something that I'm like, oh, this is so good. It's so clever. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Flop.
And I'm like, if somebody with a bigger following recreated that and started it as a trend, it would go viral.
Yes, absolutely. And it does get difficult because you get in this like parallel of wanting to make, like, I try and make somewhat original content. Some people will like see something and just like copy it in their rendition.
Yes.
I try and make as much original content as I can.
Yeah.
But it's like, you're not even like incentivized to do that anymore because it doesn't push that. It's just like, do the same as everybody else, but your version. Make it the same, but better.
I know. Literally.
Crazy.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I genuinely hate it.
And that's something that I think is really cool about YouTube versus short form is, obviously I'm just getting into long form, but I find short form has almost gotten a little bit soulless in making content because you're like not creating whatever stuff. I'm like, I know if I make a 7-second video and I say something captivating or something that's going to like invoke people's emotions or upset them, viral, no problem. But it's not like a well thought out curated video.
Nope.
You make like a well thought out, beautiful curated video and it's like, flop, and you're like, what do you mean?
I will say it's the rage bait, which is going viral. And I hate
so big right now.
So many people will be doing stuff just because they know it will cause a scene.
Yes, I do that like once a month. I make like one rage bait video a month because I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, hell yeah. Just one a month. Just any more than that, and you become a demon. But one a month, you're like, I just have to keep the people interested.
But some people, their whole channel is that.
Yes.
Which I mean, some of it's fun. Like I don't know if you've seen the girl that like she does the like how I welcome Uber Eats drivers, and she's like, first I sage the ground, and then so her whole thing is like that. And it's funny.
That's funny.
It's really funny, but it teeters between people being like, is she serious?
Yeah.
Versus, is it a joke? And then there's other people that I'm like, get out of my page. Yeah. This is awful.
Yeah, just like demon mode videos.
Where it's like, this is a life hack you know you need it. And they're like boiling toilet paper and then they just like throw it in the garbage or something. And I'm like, what? Really? You're wasting all that just for...
Yeah, for what? For what? It's weird because it has gone that way with content a lot recently. But again, back to the YouTube thing, it's nice because you can create these beautiful stories that people resonate with because YouTube has turned into our generation's TV. I firmly believe that.
No, it has. Yeah. I think watch time is higher than TV, and TV is struggling because like advertisers are now investing in social media versus on-screen broadcast. And so some of the shows are being canceled because of that. Yeah. Yeah. Even when I book an acting gig, half the time it doesn't say TV broadcast anymore. It will say social media broadcast. Like that's crazy. The standard now. Yeah.
It's crazy that our generation has changed how we consume media so drastically. Yeah. And I think that's something that people don't get from the outside. They're like, oh, why do like content creators make such good money? And one of my good friends, Kyle from Instagram?
I don't know.
Good content creator friends told me this. He's like, you get paid so much as a content creator because you are the editor, the director, the shooter, all these things. You're a full media team that does one thing.
That makes
But because our generation consumes the media on our phones now, we're not watching cable TV. We're consuming ads through our phone. Now you are the advertiser and you do the whole job. And I was like, you know what? That actually makes a lot of sense because to shoot an ad, you've been in ads. You were in the Nike ad. You know how many people it takes to do these things.
So long.
Where it's like you're a one-man army, maybe two if you tap a shoulder to help you film something, right?
Yeah. Okay. That makes so much sense because yeah, some people are like, I'm like, but we're doing a lot of
Yeah.
work, right? Like it's our camera gear, it's our microphones and setups and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but I strongly believe like once you're on YouTube and you find your community, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like I have a solid community that if it gets pushed to the wrong person and people are like hating on me, they'll like defend me in the comments.
Which is
Like,
great.
which
And I
is
want to touch on that
crazy.
because that's
Yeah.
again one that I love to talk to people about is the internet can be a really dark place.
Ugh, yeah.
And how do you deal with that? Obviously, it sounds like you have a good community to back that, but how are you able to separate that? Because I know some people are able to deal with it better than others, but it can be very heavy at times because you're
Yes.
constantly under like a microscope for everything you do.
Yeah. I will say, yeah, YouTube, I don't really worry about it. At first, I was reading like every comment and whenever someone says something, and to this day, kind of, yes, it bothers me. Like I had one the other day and like now I laugh at it, but it was like, something's wrong with your lip. You need to get it checked. And I'm like watching myself. I'm like,
Yes.
fuck, my lip like does something when I talk sometimes.
It's because you're under a microscope, right? And I
Yes.
totally relate to that because as much as I'd love to play it off like, oh, I'm Mr. Cool, I don't things do bother me on the internet and I get lashed online constantly. And it's like it can be overwhelming sometimes because you're
Yes.
just trying to do your thing and like people are just criticizing from I
Yeah.
call them kind of, and like no offense, but I call them like NPCs because it's like you're sitting at home on your phone bashing people
Half
online.
the time,
like, what do you?
no
why?
profile picture.
Yeah.
I think, and I love this. There's actually a lot of people that are starting to do this, which is now holding them accountable and like putting them on blast, emailing I don't know if you've seen this, but this girl emailed a woman's work because she found out she was like a therapist.
Yeah.
And she's like, how are you going to comment such vile things and
Yes.
your help? Isn't that insane?
I've seen the craziest comments of like, I had one where this lawyer and this guy were going back and forth, like a female lawyer were going back and forth, and she was saying the most vile things I've ever seen in the
Yeah.
comments. And it's like openly in her Instagram profile, it was like lawyer in whatever. And I was like,
Yes.
what are
Like,
you doing?
hello?
Like, you're a lawyer.
Yeah.
You're a professional. Why are you arguing in the comment with random strangers
bad.
saying like malicious things? It's
Yes.
insane. Yeah.
I think, yeah, hold them accountable.
Yes.
I've had some
Yeah.
random people in my comments, or like sometimes I'll get a really bad DM just calling me like stupid or like a conspiracy theorist. Whenever I do something that's like conspiracy based, I never say my opinion. I always say people believe.
Yeah.
Because I never want to be tied to anything like that.
Yeah.
Right. And so people will come at me and they'll send me like, I used to have death threats, but not anymore.
No shit.
Not anymore. It's good.
Was that for the horror stuff or was
Yeah.
that for, yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
like,
because
okay.
would you say it was more for, because you do true crime as
Yeah.
well as like horror stuff, would you say it was more
Yeah.
for the true crime stuff?
No, it was like on an urban legend video.
Okay, interesting. Because
Yeah.
I heard this theory and it's a little bit offside,
I
but I
wanna
love
hear
being
it.
offside, that people who are obsessed with true crime love watching it because they like reliving their traumas. And so watching those shows allows them to relive the feelings from their traumas.
That's interesting. I
Yeah.
thought it was more so like we don't know what makes people tick. And if you yourself have never had that impulses, it's fascinating to like learn
Yeah.
what other people have done and like acted on.
Yeah.
That's intense.
Yeah, it's an
Dang. I'm gonna
intense
come for
one,
them and be
right?
like, are you okay?
Yeah. And it could also be multiple different viewpoints of it, right? But that is
Yeah.
one like theory I heard about it that
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, I thought about it. I was like, damn. Because you
That's
ever watch like a
deep.
spooky movie and you're like, whoa, that's like heavy. Like I watched the last or no, not the new one, Until Dawn. That came
Okay.
out and that was like heavy. And I was like, I would never watch that again because it was too heavy.
Really?
But some people love that feeling of
And
like,
it's like calm.
I had
it calms
heart,
them.
yeah, I had heart palpitations during that movie. I was like,
That's crazy.
yeah, but some people like that.
Some people they like fall asleep watching that.
Yeah.
I'm not like that.
Yeah.
I'm not like that at all.
I think we can get the gist that you're more on the investigative side of
Yes,
things.
I try
as
to be
opposed
so respectful too.
Yeah.
And especially if it's a brand new case, I will put resources to like help the family or whatever. But yeah, no, it's crazy.
Yeah.
The people coming at you. Obviously I try to not read the comments. But when it's on like I say personal, it's the one that has less followers, but it's the one that
Yeah.
was growing first. And I do like comedy, lifestyle, all that. If somebody comments on it, I'll just be like, hope you have a good day. Or I'll just delete it. My one thing, which I'm sure a lot of females can relate to this, and it's crazy.
Yeah,
but
empower the girlies.
Yeah, it's being sexualized online. And it's like
Yes.
when I do my videos, I am not showing anything.
Yeah.
My content is not meant to be sexualized or
Yes.
you know. And then there's people that will screenshot and zoom in, and especially with AI, I'll say that, yes, I don't know how deep we're getting, but I have
You
had
can get as deep as you want.
people do, it's like a remove clothes AI. Yeah. And so somebody sent me like a photo.
Pardon me?
Yeah. Somebody sent
Oh my God.
Thank gosh it had a watermark across it. But I looked at it and I was like, what the? Yeah, there's apps that are like, it's literally
that's sick and twisted.
disgusting.
Especially like your content is very like it's not focused on you as like this is who I am, like here's my body, here's look at me. It's like you are telling stories with what you do. So the fact that people take that and they're like, let's make her naked with AI. It's like, are you okay?
It's insane. And I joke about this in my stand-up routine, but I had a WikiFeet page that I had to get removed because it was just all photos. And like,
oh my God.
I mean, everyone jokes about it being like, if you're a female online, don't show your feet. Like that's the joke. And I never thought it would actually get to that point. But like grad photos.
Wait, is that why people say don't show your feet online?
Yeah, because it gets on fetish sites about feet.
I gotta protect my dogs from now on.
Protect your dogs.
No, I just learned that. Cover the dogs up.
For real, like I won't even do socks, slippers. Like no, they're wild. There was like literally a photo from my my graduation. I'm like voice cracking. There was literally a photo from my graduation and I had heels on.
Yeah.
And they zoomed in and it was like super pixelated, kind of funny. But then it was on this website and I'm like, really?
Wait, so are people making money off of your feet?
No, it's not making money.
Okay. As long as people aren't monetizing your feet without you getting monetary compensation, that would be crazy.
That so fast.
Okay, good. As long as you get paid for your own feet.
If I really wanted to.
This is a foot forward podcast.
Yes, exactly. 1 foot forward. Just with shoes on.
One dog forward.
One dog forward. But no, I make fun of it now. But when I really sit back and think about it, I'm like, this is disgusting.
It's fucked up.
And there was one time I got so frustrated. I posted like a rant video and I uploaded it to Instagram. And I just said, like, I'm not posting to be sexualized. And someone, like, actually a couple of men commented, that's what you get for being an attractive woman on the internet. And I said, that's what I get. Excuse me? What about like standards?
But that's like, and I don't like to use this word because I don't like internet buzzwords for things. I think they're thrown around too liberally, but that's like incel behavior.
Yes.
That's like truly incel behavior is like, why do you have to look at someone on the internet and like sexualize them?
But
like,
also he said it's expected. And I said, expected? What do you mean? Like, they're like, oh no, it's normal. I'm like, it's not normal.
But that's like saying you go to the bar and you just look at a girl and it's like, oh my God, sexual. Like, what, you can't contain your lust? Like that's, unfortunately, that is incel behavior.
Do they walk by Victoria's Secret and they're like, damn, and you know?
I mean, sometimes those models looking kind of thick out front of the store though. Low key.
They looking real good.
Key.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like insane. So I deleted that because I was like, I don't have time or energy. But when I have the chance, I really do tell women, I'm like, protect yourself on the internet. It's crazy.
Yeah. And let's segue that because that's the perfect segue into dating as a content creator.
Oh my gosh.
Let's talk a little bit about that. So relationship status right now, if you want to discuss it. If not, you can just be
I'm seeing someone.
Yay. I love that.
It's not official.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But normally, I don't think my audience isn't going to like see this, but normally I keep it really private because I did have a public relationship.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because sometimes I'll still see them like commenting and they'll have like the profile picture of me and my ex.
No shit.
Because we like, I don't know. We had like
you tell as much as you're comfortable with. If you don't want to talk about it, we can
also
like
a
move
YouTuber.
forward.
No, it's fine. Okay. I'm like, and they'll know who I'm talking about. Like, great guy.
I love probing things, but when it comes to relationship, that's like there's a level of privacy that I'm not gonna like overly probe for that. Yeah.
After that of like posting and being very like public about it, and we did videos together and doing like girlfriend challenge. I'm pretty sure it's still up on my page because I'm like, I don't care. It was good.
It's a part of your life, right? Like
exactly.
It is what it is.
And so after that and having people like literally change their profile picture to us and like having our names as like they were like Lindsay blank shipper or like whatever it was and still seeing people like with that, I'm like, that's intense.
That's insane.
I'm like, he has a girlfriend now They look amazing. We don't talk, but like it ended fine.
Yeah.
It was just like we really did not match. Like,
Yeah.
if it wasn't for like YouTube bringing us together, I don't think we would have dated.
Yeah.
It just, you know,
it worked at the time
it
for
worked
whatever,
at the
but
time. And
sometimes
then,
you come together for a certain
and
reason
also
and
it
you
was during
realize it
COVID,
wasn't.
so it was really, really hard.
Yeah.
And I will say I was really strict on who he was seeing too, because I was so scared that I was gonna get sick and then get my family sick.
Yeah.
So it was just this whole thing.
Of course.
So normally I don't like share relationship stuff. And there's this girl that I watch. Her name is Adeline Morin. She's from Canada. I think she grew up in Brampton. She's huge now. But she said something after she had a very public relationship and breakup. And she said that when you publicize that, people will get jealous and they can wish you bad ill.
Yes.
So I'm not saying like all relationships will fail if you're making it public, but I rather have that part private.
Yeah.
But you met him.
Now here's that's what I was going to say. I did meet him.
Yes.
Now, is he a
like
content creator of
busting.
any sorts or?
No, wait, let me fix this.
Yeah, button.
I'm like, oh, no, it's fine.
Cover that up. This is a PG-13 podcast.
Literally.
Chill.
He's an actor.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
what I was going to ask is like, as someone who's obviously, I had a relatively public relationship last year, and as someone, dating against seeing someone as well right now, who's actually a content creator, it's an interesting dichotomy of, I think it will end up being public because it's what we do, and it's really hard to shield that when you both are doing that.
Yes.
But when you have somebody who maybe isn't as much content, you're able to do your separate thing and not. And so, did you find it hard at all with dating and meeting him as a content creator? Like, have you been on any strange dates where people knew who you were, or like, because people don't understand the public eye factor,
it's
where
crazy.
There's people out there who think they know you because they've watched your videos, and you you're going in fresh, like this is a new human.
Yeah.
And they're going in like, I know this person already, and it's the biggest trip. It's the biggest trip. Yeah.
Yeah, that happened to me once. So we had mutuals and we met organically, but then when I went on a date with him, he started literally quoting things from my videos.
Oh, no.
Which is like, there's stuff that
diabolical.
And like, I would be like, oh, how did you know that? And he goes like, well, no, I always say that.
I've watched every single one of your videos
I know your favorite color
for the last 8 years. And you're like,
it's intense, which I don't know if he like did his research beforehand or if he knew me. I never asked. But it was insane. Like, my catchphrase after every video is, I'll see you when I see you. Like, that's my catchphrase. I have merch with that. And he said that. And I was like, oh,
you're
okay.
Like, weird.
Yeah.
You're like, that's my catchphrase.
Yeah.
You can't take that.
I'm like, why are you saying that?
Yeah.
And then also, when, I don't know if you've seen the viral video of the mom being like, disgusting.
Yeah.
I say that all the time in my video. I have like a compilation of me saying it. It's hilarious. And he did that. And he quoted something else. And in my mind, I was like, that's a little bit odd.
It's extremely
it was really odd when he was like, oh, I'll see you when I see ya. And I just went, wait a minute. I literally,
you're like, pump the brakes.
Oh yeah, I literally
You're
was
actually
just like,
not going to see me. You're not going to see me ever again. Disappear, scram.
I literally was just like, I was like, what? Go back again? And he was like, what? I see you when I, and it's not even like, I'll see you when I see you. I say, like, I'll see ya when I see ya. And then I was just like, I say that at the end of every video, and I have merch. She's like, oh, that's weird. I just always say it casually. I'm like, I don't know so much.
Are you sure about that?
Like, you sure about that, bud? You sure about that? So that one I was like a little weird. Or I've had when I was on dating apps, which I don't like.
Yeah, can we talk? What was your dating app? How long did that last?
Oh my God.
I told you I had the last Hinge date. She had, and I've told this before, but like she knew a lot about me.
That's insane.
And I was like, I'm never using a dating app again.
Yeah, crazy. And like, I don't even think that I'm like, I never say I'm famous.
Yeah.
I'm like, sometimes I'll get recognized, very rarely.
Yeah.
But I've had a couple of people that they're like, oh, hey, I follow you on TikTok or I follow you on YouTube. Instant no.
Yeah, you're like, oh.
Like, I know what you're trying to say, but instantly no.
Yeah.
Instantly, you could be the most gorgeous person. I'm sorry. If you know me, you recognize me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not for me.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's super spooky. Wrap it.
Oh, okay.
Perfect. Well, at the end of every pod, the most valuable and important piece is obviously this is stories for the grandkids.
Yeah.
So if you could leave one message or story or something you want to tell your grandkids, what would that be?
Oh, that's so sweet. Wait, I love that. Be yourself and follow your dreams.
I love that.
Because that's when I found most success, following what I love and honestly being myself.
I love that.
Yeah.
And people obviously love you because you have 5 different social media channels that are all popping.
I'm dying on the
Yeah.
inside, but it's for you.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's amazing.
Crazy.
Well, thank you very much. And you got to plug all your stuff. So plug.
Oh my gosh.
Give us all your deets.
Honestly, if you Google my name, Lindsay Ivan, Instagram is Lindsay_Ivan. And then Lindsay Ivan on TikTok and YouTube, officially Lindsay on my comedy channel,
Yeah.
and then Lynn's Spooky Corner on my other Instagram.
And stand up coming soon too,
And
right?
stand-up coming
stand up coming soon too. When we have that,
Yes.
we'll plug that too.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. Very exciting.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you
for
coming
having
on
me.
the first
Yes.
solo
Woo!
pod. So
Yes.
thank you very much for coming on.
This is so fun.
This was awesome.
Yay.
Beautiful. Thanks, Lindsay.